I can't eat at Arby's anymore either. They don't taste good.
Too expensive for me.
Okay, Chefface, here's the thing. We were discussing food ad. Ben noted that he ate chicken McNuggets at McDonald's. So,
He just wants this as a distraction.
I brought up to Ben that in the United States of America, the chicken McNuggets served at the McDonald's restaurants are made of some of the most vile toxic sludge known to man, still legally allowed to be eaten by human beings. Nowhere in here have I actually assumed that all Americans eat at McDonald's. I have simply made the assumption that Ben, since he stated that he eats McNuggets at McDonald's, most likely eats McNuggets at McDonald's, because if he was lying about something like this, then I have no idea what the hell he's on about. Why would you make that up? Yeah, you know, I actually only eat the original nuggets at McDonald's. None of that off-brand stuff.
Now, he might be questioning
none of that Wendy's shit or...
Wow, you're just trying to pick a fight here, aren't you, Chef Eggs?
I just thought Ben was American because there's a tiny flag next to his Skype avatar, yes.
And I've been able to make it so it lies, yes. Really?
God bless America. And ponies.
Oh.
I actually have a great video in my bookmarks that I just felt was absolutely hilarious.
Uh-oh.
Where it's just every instance of the word pony in the first season of the new My Little Pony series. Just spliced together, all in a row.
You know, I think I may have seen that video. It's not too long, right? It's only about 3-4 minutes, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, it goes by faster than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think I've seen that one then.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing to Tom Domas. That it's, yeah, pour root beer, add ice cream.
But what if it catches on fire?
Then I don't want to know what the hell you did to cause it to catch on fire.
And
well, there's lots of different kinds of root beer. I like Stewart's, but...
I'd go with the classic A&W, if I can.
A&W is pretty good. Dad's root beer is actually not too bad. And for some reason, you can find it in a lot of dollar stores.
Your dad's root beer.
I'm trying to remember. I know you wouldn't guys have this, but there's a restaurant here in America known as Claim Jumper, and one of the things they have is at the front on your way out, you can grab a root beer barrel, which is a hard candy that tastes like root beer. I forget which root beer it's supposed to taste like, though. So
I think that's A&W.
Is it A&W? I thought it was Dad's, sure. But I could be wrong.
At least the stuff I found, I think is supposed to be like A&W.
Okay. But it's not bad. I usually grab one. But mead and stout. I've never actually had a mead and stout. Or either or, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes, poke ölsupa indeed. Ölsupa all day, every day.
I have had Old Rasputin, which is a Russian Imperial Stout. That's pretty good. We have some meat in the house, but I have not had any of it yet.
You know what I really hate? Food chat while I'm playing a video game and can't eat.
Take that as a cue, chat.
No, it's fine. They can talk about whatever they want, but I mean, shit, it's my own fault for not, like, having a magical straw that can suck up food or something.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to take a quick break and eat something at some point because it's almost 2 my time, and
Yeah.
I eat at like 8 o'clock.
Luckily, I ate a pretty sizable lunch, specifically in preparation for this, so
There you go.
I have learned from my previous mistakes.
Now, question about this game, surprisingly.
This game. This fucking game. Yes, please go ahead.
Now, I'm noticing that as they go up in level, they need more and more, like, you know, a new 100.
Yes,
So-
but here's the thing. If you upgrade the training course, as long as the training course is at least of the same level as the horse, they will get the same percentage every time.
Okay. That's
So
what
there
that
is
was gonna be.
literally no difference between them.
Okay.
The number is just higher.
So it still only takes 3 goes of a single course to max out those 2 stats.
Yes, as long as the horse is intelligent enough. Because if the horse has low intelligence, it gains less skill points.
Okay.
Because they thought about that was a brilliant idea.
Wow.
We're sorry, but your horse is stupid.
Charlotte the Demon Horse. And Alan. Alan is a nice name, actually. I wonder if it actually changes the random names if you change the
Language.
yeah, if the language you're playing in. That would be great if you switch to German and you have Gunther the horse, Hans the unicorn.
Would be interesting, but that might be putting too much credit in this.
Random exclamations of French in the stream chat. Now, nefariousness. I've known several German people, and like 2 of them were named Hans and 1 was named Gunther, so I mean, shit. It's
They
like
are proper names.
Yeah, it's like Nils, Sven, and Johan in Sweden. I mean, it sounds incredibly stereotypical to us Swedes when you use those names, but the silly thing is that, like, I mean, we are talking about percentages of the population that have those as given names. It's not even funny. Yeah, pretty much. All Swedes are named Sven, Erik, or Johan. That's just how it works.
So what's your real name, and then that you're just hiding Arthur behind? Or
My
that you're
name
hiding
is
behind
Sven,
Arthur?
Erik, Johan, Johansson.
Wow.
No, it isn't. But it's not
We all
Sven
know-
Svensson either, what it would be hilarious. And
But
yes,
we all know.
Camero is in fact a Johan. And Frankentan's real name is actually a variant of Johan.
Wow.
So yeah.
I was going to say, because we all know that Arthur Wolf is actually your super spy name.
Exactly. The identity assigned to me by the Swedish state.
No one would suspect an Arthur as a Swedish spy.
And yes, my real name is Sam Blanksteg.
That'll live in infamy. I know it will.
Man,
I just love
I
that-
wish my name was Blanksteg. That would be amazing.
My last name is Space.
7 Meister. Yes. What?
I don't know. That's a painful joke to read.
Yes.
It's funny that Puck brings up Meister though, because he knows that back in the good old days, whenever I would play multiplayer video games, I would call myself Lord Dirk. It was my go-to name in Lords of the Realm 1 and 2, in Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3, and various other games. I actually still use that when I can't figure out anything else and it has a fantasy setting of some sort.
I admittedly tend to use this name all over the place.
Yeah, I've got this one and I've got one other I tend to use a fair bit.
I have this is my standard good guy neutral kind of name. I do have a specifically, you know, if I want this to be an evil character, I use a different name, but
And Domus wants to know, what is the point of all this training? Well, you see, a horse is not allowed to breed before it has reached its full genetic potential. Because reasons.
Horse eugenics.
Yes.
to make the glue better, as Puck states.
Yep.
Or to make you go insane, but again, we commented whether you're already insane.
And Domus now wants to know, why do we need level 5 horses? Well, see, level 5 horses are the only horses that can go on the Meteorite Crystal Fetch quest. And we need 5 of those in order to beat the game. By creating the ultimate magical horse. And as Puck brings up, yes, Sweden actually had a race study institute well into the 20th century. We were actually one of the last countries in Europe to stop studying eugenics, which is sort of terrifying. And it was law until just a few years ago that if you were to physically change your sex, it was obligatory by law to be sterilized.
What?
Yup. So if you wanted to make a male to female or female to male transition, you had to be sterilized.
Wow.
Yeah, but when people actually figured this out and actually brought it into the media, there was quite a bit of backlash, because this is just one of the things that no one outside that realm had any idea.
Well,
and the worst part is that apparently it turned out that during the 60s, 70s and even into the early 80s it had been done in secret to many people. They didn't know that it was sterilized during the operation. And
Even better.
Yeah, and we also sterilized the, and now I'm going to use the word, clinically retarded. Because, you know, Nordic pride worldwide, I guess. Stormfront, here we go. I have no idea. Basically, it was completely unacceptable, but at least we finally managed to root out that law and get rid of it. It was basically just a carryover from the, like, 1930s, 1940s, where all the rich Swedes basically went, well, you know, the Nazis sort of have a pretty good idea.
Oh. Yeah, that's still terrible to think that it's still fairly recently that kind of stuff was still going on.
Yeah. Which is really weird, because, I mean, we allow gay marriage, and we have been allowing people to, you know, become transex for decades. We haven't actually had any laws against that. It's just that, you know, there was this little hidden note there that, oh, by the way, if you want to transition, you better, you know, render yourself sterile first. You just know that there's some asshole somewhere that campaigned real hard to get that written into the rules. Seriously.
Yeah.
But at least we have left those fucking dark ages behind now, at least, at last.
Huzzah.
At least you're getting better than we are. I mean, my state, yeah, we legalized pot, but, gay marriage, oh, hell no.
Well, the US is sort of weird to us Europeans in a whole, because everyone is told that having a gun is a good thing, but God save you if you see a nipple, because then you will literally become a rapist right then and there.
Actually, you know, if it weren't for the fact it's now buried in my Facebook, I'd actually bring up a interesting link that somebody had shared regarding that. In reality, I want to say it basically boils down that by nature, by saying any man is a rapist, you're saying that they are rapists naturally. Not saying that the woman is causing you to be a rapist, but you, by being a man, are a rapist because...
Well, of course, sexual violence.
So, like I said,
as
it was
Frank
a really interesting read.
As Frank and Tan and I have often discussed, is that there are equalists, there are feminists, then there are feminazis, and then finally there are feminazguls.
Okay, I've heard of all except that last one.
Yeah, the funny thing is that it actually is a bit of a Swedish feminist hashtag, that if you're one of those feminists that are just really pissed off and like to vent on Twitter, you call yourself a feminazgul. You basically swoop down and just screech at men to let them know that Jesus Christ, you are completely moronic. But yeah, the thing is that the equalists are basically... I mean, they are just, you know, objectively right about everything they state. There is a problem and it needs to be solved, we need to become more equal, and I mean, we're working towards that. But we have feminists that are, to the vast majority of what they're saying, they're entirely correct. Some of it might seem questionable, especially if you're a man, but I mean, still, they have good points and they are completely rational. Then we have feminazis, which is that, you know, militant brand of American feminism, where it's basically, if you're born a man, or if you happen to have a penis, you're a born rapist, and the only way for you to enjoy life is to, you know, visit violence on the weaker. And that's not of a very good starting point. It makes rational discourse sort of difficult. And then you have the feminazguls that basically has to go on various social media and just scream because they can't stand this shit anymore. They don't get much done, but, you know, I'm sure it feels good to just go crazy once in a while.
Yeah.
Alright, looks like that one's done.
Another one, another one, another one. Man, do you feel how the atmosphere changed once we actually brought up difficult social issues like sterilization of trans people and modern feminists?
Yeah, I know.
Damn! Well, I'm upper middle class, white, male. I basically don't have a say in anything in regards to society if we're going to use rational discourse, but luckily I'm in a position of extreme political power, simply because I was born in a certain way. So, screw your shit.
And my problem is, I'm a white male. Doesn't matter my economic position, I'm a white male. Period. Here in the States...
Anglo-Saxon?
WASP. Seriously, that is a wonderful just acronym, WASP. I really like that. And also I found it sort of interesting in that the last election was the first election in, what was it, like 60 years or something, where there were no WASPs to vote for president. Because the main runners were, one was a Mormon and the other was Afro-American.
Well, there were still some, like, in the...
Ralph Nader!
Yeah, in the,
hell yeah, Ralph Nader.
Third-party categories, but...
Problem is with
let's you know, not even joke around here. I mean, Ron Paul was the closest you could get, and he had like what, 0.3% or even that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sad thing is that here in the States, there are other parties than Republican and Democrat. I mean, there's the Green Party, and God, I don't even know all of the other parties, but I know there are
constitutional. Yeah, there's tons of them.
There's a good chunk of them, and they all are in the running. It's just they don't get as much media as Republicans and Democrats because they're the big names.
Yep.
so you almost never hear anything about them except when they do something crazy and or stupid.
Yep. Now, Anno 4647, since if we were going back to politics again, which party would Arthur Wolf join? Well, that is an excellent question. If I had to pick between Republicans and Democrats, I would definitely join the Democrats, but I find both Republicans and Democrats absolutely insufferable.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a registered independent.
I mean, it's naturally part of the fact that, you know, I'm Swedish. I was raised in what the rest of the world calls a socialist utopia, where we have such a wide distribution of party votes that we basically do not have a majority party. They have to form party blocks in order to actually be able to hold on to power. So the whole two-party system and no moderacy whatsoever approach of the exceptionalist political venues of the US is just completely, utterly foreign to me. I mean, let's just bring up an example. I know it's a terrible example to use because it usually polarizes, but polarizing things are good. I enjoy firearms, but I am also a very sensible person when it comes to firearms. I am for regulation, I am for, you know, testing of mental health and so on before you gain access to firearms, and I firmly believe that if you are going to get a concealed carry license as such, you need to prove your ability to handle your firearm. Now, Republicans would say that that is unconstitutional and I'm basically stealing freedoms because I'm a communist, while Democrats would say, how dare you even insinuate that anyone ever in the history of mankind could have use for a firearm, you murderer you. And then I'm basically standing in the middle and I realize, holy shit, I hate all of you.
No, I feel the exact same way. And, like, I don't know why that my dad calls me out on it. He's just like, yeah, you want regulations? And I'm like, yeah, doesn't mean I can't enjoy shooting guns and learning how to use them and not want regulation.
Yeah, I mean, if we demand that people actually, you know, have a license to drive a car, I feel like there should be at least some sort of tests required, you know, what's back and front of the firearm that you're going to use.
Yeah.
And I mean,
because it's always the noob who gets the rocket launcher and shoots his team.
Exactly. Jesus Christ. Battlefield Bad Company 2 called Gustav noobs that just spawn with a recoilless rocket launch and shoot it in the general direction of the enemy and then die. Oh, jeez. But yeah, I'm all for your right to own firearms, but I just want you to be responsible with them and to have them for the right reason. And if your reasoning is, I want it specifically so that Obama's blue helmets won't steal them from me, then your connection to reality is tenuous at best, and I am concerned. But similarly, if you're for regulation and you're motivated by, well, you do know that unloaded firearms sometimes go off and kill babies, then you're a lunatic. And I'm almost as scared of you as I am the crazy guy with the gun. Oh god, here comes Chef Ace. It's time for definitions!
He's
I think it's a
blasted
little hard to
chat.
get a hold of hand grenades.
Yeah, hand grenades are actually illegal to own since they're destructive devices. You need to have a very, 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 very specific tax license in order to produce or own them. And that is not something any civilian can hope to achieve without founding a munitions company.
They're a military-grade weapon, so... or at least considered a military-level weapon.
Actually, Chef Ace, the NRA would not argue for it. They have specifically actually argued that there is no need to own explosive devices in the form of grenade launchers and grenades, because they have admitted that there is no direct need for them for self-defense. So the NRA does not actually support your owning of hand grenades. As hilarious as it would be.
I'm personally with Sheaf myself. I want a plasma rifle.
Yeah, phased plasma rifle in the 40 watt range.
Oh yeah.
Only what you see, pal.
and it better make pew 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 sounds.
Yes, yes. I have actually thought of that. If we ever get to energy weapons, I will be the first guy to make basically a barrel add-on that makes the weapon go pew 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 when you pull the trigger.
Yes, I would buy it.
And yes, Chief, time to found the NEA, National Explosives Association. Every man has the right to use dynamite to blow off the stumps in his backyard, and gosh darn it, we're gonna fight for that right.
Doesn't matter if I only need a quarter stick of a dynamite to blow up that stump. I'm going to use a whole bundle of 6.
Yeah.
Why? Because. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Yep.